Praveen Kumar Lakskar is a 2012 batch IAS officer. He is the district magistrate of Hathras, where this gruesome death of a young girl took place, a death that is being discussed all across the country at this moment. Today, the district magistrate went to visit the family of the victim, and he told them, and this was caught by a camera that was recording in the vicinity, that the media guys will be gone, we will be here. He says, we are with you, but the fact that the district magistrate is coming there, expressing his unhappiness with the statements that have been given by the family members and telling them what's okay and what's not, what they should and should not say, what they should be mindful of and should they not. I asked just this very simple question: why should the local administration be coaching the family on what they should or should not say? Does the grieving father not have the right to speak his story in the manner that he wants to? Why should he be coached on what is okay and what is not? This is our lead story tonight.
They've lost their daughter. They were denied one final glimpse and the chance to bid her goodbye. And now they are being threatened by the local administration.
आप बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप फैमिली को जाके इंटिमिडेट भी कर रहे हैं सर। इतनी ऑलरेडी गरीब फैमिली है, डरी हुई है।
आप अपनी विश्वसनीयता खत्म मत करिए।
A shocking video of the Hathras district magistrate trying to intimidate the 19-year-old's family has emerged. In the video, the DM can be seen talking to the family, asking them if they want to change their statement.
आप अपनी विश्वसनीयता खत्म मत करिए। तो मीडिया वाले मैं आपको बता दूं, आज अभी आधे चले गए, कल सुबह तक आधे और निकल जाएंगे, 2-4 बजेंगे कल शाम को, तो हम ही आपके साथ खड़े हैं। अब आपकी इच्छा, आपको बार-बार बयान बदलना नहीं बदलना है, अभी हम भी बदल जाए कि नहीं।
As the video went viral, the Hathras victim's family has come out to say that they are indeed under pressure.
पे बोल रहे हैं कि तुम्हारी लड़की अगर कोरोना से मर जाती तो मुआवजा मिल जाता है। ये सब धमकियां मिल रही हैं, पापा को धमकाया जा रहा है।
ये बोल रहे हैं कि केस मतलब रफा दफा हो जाएगा, अगर
सब केस रफा दफा हो जाएगा। अब ये लोग हमें यहाँ रहने नहीं देंगे। डीएम ज्यादा ही चालबाजी कर रहे हैं, हम लोगों के साथ में इतना प्रेशर डाल रहे हैं जबरदस्ती कि हम लोगों ने इतने लोग तुम्हारी बात का कोई भरोसा नहीं है।
When India Today confronted the Hathras DM about intimidating the family, he chose to remain silent.
सर आप बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं सर हमसे। आप आराम से एक बार हमको सबको, चाहे रिपोर्टर्स को बुलाइए। आप बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप फैमिली को जाके इंटिमिडेट भी कर रहे हैं सर।
With their faith in the Uttar Pradesh administration and the police shaken, the girl's father and brother are now demanding a CBI investigation.
यहाँ से हमें दबाव देके लेके गए थे वहाँ पर थाने लेके पहुँचे गए योगी से बात करानी, वहाँ लेके वहाँ PWD में उनका पूरा प्रेशर था और मेरी जो इसकी केस की बिटिया की जांच होनी चाहिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज के द्वारा CBI जांच होनी चाहिए।
हमारे साथ आगे के दबाव बनाए तो लोकल मीडिया तक शेयर ना हो पाए ये चीज। छत पे भी है मैम, छत पे बैठी हुई है पुलिस। कल यही दबाव तो डाला गया है, सारा कुछ इन्होंने तो करवाया है और सारे ये बिल्कुल वो छुपाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
The family's demand for a CBI probe comes just a day after they spoke to UP Chief Minister. Yogi Adityanath had assured the family that the accused won't be spared. But with the DM caught threatening the family, is there any hope for justice? With Tanushri Pandey, Bureau Report, India Today.
I want you to listen to this short excerpt of the sister-in-law of the Hathras victim explaining the kind of pressure that the local administration is making bear on the family, telling them what they should and should not say, and then I'll kickstart the Newstrack showdown tonight.
पे बोल रहे हैं कि तुम्हारी लड़की अगर कोरोना से मर जाती तो मुआवजा मिल जाता। ये सब धमकियां मिल रही हैं, पापा को धमकाया जा रहा है।
ये बोल रहे हैं कि केस मतलब रफा दफा हो जाएगा अगर
सब केस रफा दफा हो जाएगा। ये सब वीडियो दिखा देंगे, मम्मी की उल्टी सीधी वीडियो बना रखी है। जो उस टाइम में वो हालात ऐसे थे, जो मन में आ रहा वो सब लोग बोले जा रहे, यही सब करके अब ये लोग हमें यहाँ रहने नहीं देंगे।
ये डीएम बहुत
ज्यादा ही चालबाजी कर रहे हैं। हम लोगों के साथ में इतना प्रेशर डाल रहे हैं जबरदस्ती कि हम लोगों ने इतने लोग तुम्हारी बात का कोई भरोसा नहीं है, तुम जबरदस्ती बयान बदल रहे हो, तुम पे कौन भरोसा? पापा पे बुलवा रहे, बयान बदलने से तुम्हारी कोई वो रहेगी, हम लोग दूसरी जगह चले जाएंगे।
The district magistrate is putting pressure on my father. They're linking this with our compensation and almost making it seem as if we should be grateful that we've got compensation. Why should the senior most local government officer be intimidating the family? You know, he says, "Hum hain aapke saath." But if you see the whole context, look at what the brother Sandeep said, look at what the sister-in-law is saying, look at the media guys will be gone. We'll be here. So you watch what you say. Sambit Patra represents the Bharatiya Janata Party on this broadcast. We've got Juhi Singh from the Samajwadi Party, Supriya Shirnath from the Congress, and Asha Devi is the mother of the girl India knows as Nirbhaya. I want to go across to Sambit Patra first because the sister-in-law crying on camera, telling people who are shocked with every little detail of the story that the family is being threatened by the local administration. They're being told what they should and should not say, that they are being told that they should be grateful that they've been given compensation, and if this had been COVID, there would have been no compensation coming, that the media will be gone, says Mr. District Magistrate, and that we will be here. Is this the manner in which the state government and its local administration is supposed to behave, Dr. Patra?
See, Rahul, first and foremost, there are two parts to this case. As far as the heinous crime committed on the Beti of Hathras is concerned, highly condemnable. My words, in fact, it's such a sensitive issue, my words cannot describe the amount of crime that has been committed. Number two, well, yes, I mean, I have just heard a part of the conversation that the local administration was having and what the relatives of the dead girl were having, in fact, and I'm shocked. I mean, this kind of apathy is something which I don't deserve from any officer. I firmly believe that I'm not here to defend the indefensible. I firmly believe that local officers, police officers or civil servants, they have to be extremely sensitive. And SIT is on. And I'm sure that once the SIT report is out, we will know what the truth is. I am of the view that today, in fact, the post-mortem report was also out, in which it categorically mentions that there was no rape. It was an attempt to strangulate, and the death was because of cardiac arrest and the consequences of strangulation.
Can I just say, Dr. Patra, on that post-mortem report that you referred to, that when this incident first happened, the MLC, the gynecologist, was not allowed to examine the private parts because the girl's condition was very badly off. If the rape test had been done at that time, you would have known whether this girl had been raped or not. Now, after her death, in the post-mortem report, it has emerged from the forensic science laboratory that the girl wasn't raped. But when this test should have been performed, when the incident had just happened, the rape test was never done, sir.
No, respectfully, I would submit over here. Then, in fact, the group of doctors from Safdarjung would have categorically written inconclusive. They would not have said otherwise. Because if it was not the proper time of conducting a rape test, etc., whether the private parts were injured, whether there was any trace of semen or sperm inside, then they would have written inconclusive. I do not believe the competence of doctors in Safdarjung. I would give it to them that whatever they have written, they have done due diligence and they are scientific people. Number one. But what's most, I would say, intriguing is the kind of politics that is following. I would not like to defend any police personnel or any administrative officer who are insensitive. But the insensitiveness of the politicians is also intriguing. I had seen Mr. Rahul Gandhi, he fell upon himself today and lied that the police had tried to beat him up. I mean, these kind of lies and these kind of photo or posturing is something
so I'm hoping
which I'm
to come
totally
to Rahul
against.
Gandhi in part 2 of this broadcast, Dr. Patra. I want to focus for the time being on the on the district magistrate going to the family and telling them what he should and should not say. But what Dr. Patra has said at the start is important. Supriya Srinath, he says IAS officers need to be sensitive. He's not here to defend the indefensible, and if someone has done something wrong and out of line, it's not the viewpoint of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which very clearly Dr. Patra has disassociated himself with. Supriya Srinath.
It's extremely convenient for him to do so, because I was a part of the group that wanted to go and stand by with this family, and we were not just lathi charged and stopped, but we had some really choicest of abuses hurled at us. So Dr. Patra may not know what the real situation on the ground is. I will tell you two things. The DM is the most powerful man in the district, and if he goes and tells a family what we have already seen on camera and on record to say, I wonder what that family goes through. Maybe Dr. Patra doesn't understand that. And if the UP government is so sensitive, I also want to ask, why have heads not rolled? Because the same UP government, through various official channels, kept calling it fake news. And I'm glad Dr. Patra maintains the stand that ADG Law and Order of UP is maintaining, who says this wasn't rape because semen was not found. Now let me tell you a little bit about law and order. IPC section 375, which was amended in 2013, the Supreme Court verdict in Babulnath versus State of UP case categorically states there needs to be no semen and there needs to be no penis penetration to establish rape, and attempt to do so is also rape. Please somebody explain to me, why would 4 men try and strangulate a woman, break her backbone, cut her tongue, if there was no rape? I mean, how insensitive is this government? And can Dr. Patra walk away by just saying that, you know, it's insensitive of the DM?
Who Dr. Patra, you're saying that you're not here to defend the indefensible, and if you agree that the UP administration's district magistrate is out of line, then why is he not being acted against, Dr. Patra? Well, surely some administrative action should be taken against a man who's let your government down.
See, I have conclusively said that let's wait for the SIT report. The SIT report will speak for itself, number one. Number two, when you talk about insensitiveness, when you say that as far as rape is concerned, the FSL report does not suggest rape. Remember, it's not Bharatiya Janata Party which has submitted this report. A team of doctors from one of the reputed hospitals of the country, Safdarjung in Delhi, have submitted this report, number one. Number two, and I did not shout in the middle, Mr. Rahul. I waited for my chance. Thank you. Rahul, and most importantly, and as far as insensitiveness is concerned, let me tell you, I mean, here is a chief minister called as Ashok Gehlot who says that 2 minor girls from Bari in fact, Rajasthan, went on their own to be raped. And the girl comes out and says, no, we both sisters were raped for 4 days.
Can I please
and as far as insensitivity is concerned, well, yes, I have not defended the DM, but can the Congress spokesperson, and will she defend the Chief Minister of Rajasthan? Did he not tweet today that these 2 girls from Rajasthan were not raped? They went on their own to be raped? Didn't he say that? No. And is this not insensitiveness?
Because what
I want answers from you.
Okay, Supriya,
one more thing, Supriya.
Rahul, can I come in for 30 seconds?
Go on, Supriya.
I just have one statistic to point out, and I'm not manufacturing this. This was tabled in Parliament. So this is data coming from your government, your authorities, Ms. Dr. Patra. So listen to this very carefully. Between 1st March and 20th September, the reported crime against women, according to the NCW that was tabled in Parliament, UP records a shocking 5,470 incidents. And the second highest, please keep quiet. And the second highest is 1,679 in Delhi. It's 3 times higher than what is happening in the second state. Are you going to defend what happened in Hathras? Are you going to defend the action that why did the police not allow us to go? What would we have gone and done? We would have just shown our sympathy and our support to the family.
Sympathy?
What are you so scared of? Why is your DM head not rolling? Why is the information
Rahul,
advisor
can I please come in over here?
Still there, who tweeted till the 25th of September calling it fake news? You, the perpetrator of fake news, tell me today, was this fake news? Is this what you're going to say? And you're going to deflect attention with Rajasthan? This woman who died has no respect. You are trying to intimidate
Rahul,
her.
I've heard her. It's my turn now. Can I please come in?
Can I please
come in?
He doesn't know the statute.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No, one second. Supriya Srinath, this is hardly the way to behave in a civilized conversation.
Whom have you got?
I take objection.
Who have you got for a debate?
No, I'm sorry, because they cannot.
Dr. Patra, 1 second. Supriya.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
Supriya.
sorry, Rahul.
I have given you a full opportunity to have your say. 1 second. Supriya's fader goes down. Supriya, you've been given the full opportunity to say exactly what you want. You will not use expletives. You will not use abusive language. This is not the manner in which I will debate. You've had a full opportunity to say what you want. You cannot behave in this fashion. You can't be heard right now, and if this is the manner in which you want to talk, you will not be heard, Supriya. Be very clear about that.
I'm absolutely clear, but I'm not going to listen to his expertise against my leader.
You can say what you want. You can counter him with the power of your arguments, not with your abuses, Supriya Srinath.
And let me begin, Rahul, over here by giving you an example as to how she behaved today with the police in Uttar Pradesh. I mean, she used an expletive there. I mean, she abused the police there itself. I heard what the abuse was in another channel. It was the word MF.
Are you okay?
She called the police officer MF. I don't want to elaborate what the word was, but this is the kind of person she is. Please, Rahul,
okay, can I just show viewers what happened during the day? 1 second. It was a day full of political drama as the Gandhi siblings attempted to visit Hathras to meet the victim's family. The Congress netas were stopped by the UP police, detained and then released and made to return to Delhi. The question is, why were Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra stopped from going to Hathras? The BJP alleges that the Congress is playing politics. The Congress hits back, saying in a democratic country, they have the right to go wherever they want, and at the very least to pay their condolences to the victim's family. Here's the story.
Dharna, drama, and detention. Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's attempt to travel from Delhi to Hathras to meet the victim's family had all this and more. The 203-kilometer journey was halted just a little outside Delhi by the Uttar Pradesh police. The stage was set for the face-off. Soon after Priyanka and Rahul left from Delhi.
You can see the entire protest which is taking place. See the entire Congress workers who are all lined up at the DND. They can be seen from here, all lined up across the DND, and that they are saying that if Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and the motorcade is stopped, they will block the entire DND. They will not allow any vehicle to pass through this DND plaza. So that's the kind of word which the Congress workers are telling us.
At Uttar Pradesh's entry point, the Delhi-Noida Expressway was filled with Congress workers. As the Gandhis' cavalcade drove in, the supporters swooped in. There was heavy security at the toll plaza, but Rahul and Priyanka were allowed to pass. An hour later, Priyanka Gandhi's car was stopped at the Yamuna Expressway. With the cavalcade halted, Rahul and Priyanka decided to march to Hathras on foot. With cameras following the Gandhi siblings, Priyanka gave out a stern message to the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister and his administration.
The Chief Minister is responsible for the safety of women in the state. There is no way that he can get away with the fact that every single day 11 rape cases of a heinous kind, of this kind, where their bones are broken, they are strangulated, all sorts of things are going on.
As the Gandhis continued with their march, tensions escalated on the highway. Uttar Pradesh police personnel scuffled with Congress workers.
जो आप कहेंगे मैं करूंगा, मैं हाईवे से उतर के अकेला जाऊंगा, 144 उस पे नहीं लगता है, तो आप मुझे अकेले हाईवे के साइड पे चलने दीजिए। सर इस एपिडेमिक में एपिडेमिक में अकेले चलने से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, आप मुझे अकेले चलने दीजिए, प्यार से मैं जाऊंगा।
As the party cadre was stopped and police lathi charged, Rahul Gandhi fell on the ground.
किस बेसिस पे आप मुझे गिरफ्तार कर रहे हैं, ये मुझे बता दीजिए। किस धारा में? किस धारा? एक सेकंड। किस धारा में आप मुझे अरेस्ट कर रहे हैं? नहीं, कौन सा लॉ वायलेट कर रहा हूँ, मुझे ये तो बता दो। अरे भाई, मैं आप मुझे अरेस्ट कर रहे हैं, आप मुझे बताइए किस धारा पे आप मुझे अरेस्ट कर रहे हैं।
The big Gandhis versus UP cops showdown continued for close to 20 minutes.
Is this the way police treats people inhumanly? Can they push around? Can they maro dhakka to Shri Rahul Gandhi? How many people will they arrest? How many times will they do lathi charge? They think they can suppress? Are they protecting rapists? Or is this a government that is supposed to beat up the opposition leaders?
Finally, Rahul and Priyanka were taken into preventive custody and put into a UP police jeep. The Congress workers resisted. But the cops were quick to whisk away the Congress leaders to F1 guest house on the Yamuna Expressway. Rahul and Priyanka, along with a host of other Congress leaders, were kept at the guest house for close to half an hour, after which they were released and sent back to Delhi.
High drama right on the highway. That is exactly what it turned out to be as Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi tried to travel to Hathras to meet the family of the victim. The BJP has accused the Congress party of trying to play politics on this issue, but then what explains UP police and Yogi government's action today? With camera person Anil Jaiswal, this is Anand Patel in Greater Noida for India Today.
So why should the Congress leadership have been stopped from visiting Hathras? Dr. Patra, if the opposition in this country wants to go and visit and pay their condolences to the victim's family, no matter which part of the country that may be, no matter who rules that particular state, surely they have the right to be able to do so. Why were they stopped today, Dr. Patra?
No, of course they have every right, but rule is rule for everyone. You may be Rahul Gandhi or you may be an ordinary citizen of this country. And the rule of this country is if there is section 144 imposed anywhere, you have to, if you are going with a cavalcade, if you are not traveling alone, if you are going with banners and posters, if you are going with your followers, you have to seek permission. And if the permission is granted, only then you can go to the area with section 144 imposition. Did Mr. Rahul Gandhi, did Mrs. Priyanka Vadra or other Congress leaders seek this permission? They did not. So, in fact, the rule has to be followed and rule is equal for everyone, number one. Number two, I had asked a question to which, in fact, my Congress counterpart got annoyed tonight. The question was very simple. In Rajasthan, the Rajasthan Chief Minister, Mr. Ashok Gehlot, had categorically said that there was no rape of the minor sisters there. And in fact, they had gone on their own sweet will. The girls denied today. Should he not apologize? Why this tunnel vision is my question.
So we'll come to Rajasthan, but your operative part over here, Supriya Srinath, and please do not use expletives. I'm coming to you in the confidence and the hope. You've been a TV anchor in the past. You cannot use abusive language. I will give you an opportunity to respond, but you must do this with decorum. Now, the BJP's principal charge is that Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra did not have the government's permission, that section 144 had been invoked, that more people than 4 could not have assembled, and what you were trying to do was a violation of established order and norm. Respond to that, Supriya Srinath.
Well, I can turn around and say that why does section 144 need to be invoked in Hathras? Why have the borders of Hathras been sealed? What are they so scared of that people will do? And Rahul Gandhi was willing to walk all alone. Why was he then detained and arrested? And then they couldn't produce papers of arrest. So let's not be so naive here as Dr. Patra would want us to believe that they stopped only because they did not have permission. I think the opposition in this country, or for that matter anybody, you for that matter would want to go and stand in solidarity with the family. You should be allowed to do so. And what is happening in Hathras? For 8 days her complaint is not registered for gang rape. Then the entire UP police and the information advisor of the chief minister calls it fake news. Then she is not transferred to a premier institute like AIMS. Then she dies. Her cremation happens in the middle of the night. Today the same DM who's in charge of the district, why did he not stop this cremation that was happening in the middle of the night? They talk about being Hindus. Which Hindu cremation happens in this thick of dark? Please tell me. And when you want to go and show your solidarity and extend your sympathy, you were made to stop and arrested. I mean, I don't understand why.
No, but the BJP is questioning why.
For so many kilometers, then people were arrested.
No, one second, Supriya. BJP is questioning why the Gandhi siblings wanted to go to Hathras and not to Jaipur or Ajmer. I have here data from the National Crime Records Bureau for 2019. Rajasthan recorded 5,997 rape cases in 2019, Uttar Pradesh at 3,065. So the number of rapes in Rajasthan on your watch is almost twice the number of rapes in Uttar Pradesh according to NCRB data.
I am glad you are pointing out data, because I swear by data, and I have always as a journalist, like you just mentioned. The latest data, and I'll counter this, the latest data tabled in Parliament by the NCW says from March to September, the number of crime against women in UP were 5,470. The second highest state was Delhi, and they had crimes of only 1697. Look at the crime against women. And are we going to look away from a horrific crime? Listen, anywhere a woman is molested, brutal things happen against her, we need to condemn this. But we cannot deflect attention from Hathras. Look at what has happened. Isn't this power play? Isn't this cover up by the UP government? The ADG of law and order needs to know the law better. He is saying no semen was found, so no rape. Maybe he remembers the law 30 years back when he was in the police academy. It was changed in 2013 under section 375, and he isn't even aware. So I don't know where the shame really lies. I am not saying one rape is less than the other, but look at the brutality of what has happened in Hathras. Look at the kind of cover-up. She wasn't even given a dignified farewell by her
government that claims to believe so strongly in Hindu Riti Rivaj and the Hindu Sanatan Dharma, Dr. Patra, for the victim to have been cremated in the dead of the night like she's some dreaded terrorist who needs to be murdered, who needs to be cremated, otherwise the law and order situation may go out of control. Why is your government acting in this fashion? You understand Hindu rituals better than most people. Is it okay to cremate somebody in the dead of the night? Why could this not have waited till the morning? Why, on every account, whether it's the police or the local administration, have local authorities been acting in the manner that they have?
See, Rahul, allow me a few seconds, because there are certain questions which have cropped up. I mean, I want to answer them as well as the question that you have put forth. Number one, when you said that why Rahul Gandhi could have been allowed to go alone, I mean, why sections 144? Because section 144 is only for conglomeration of more than 4 people. If Rahul would have been allowed, he would have gone alone. No one stopped him. Had he come from his home alone in his car, no one would have stopped.
But he was willing to go alone.
They themselves stopped the car.
He said to the police, who's on camera, saying, let me go alone.
He said, I'm willing to go alone.
Okay. Let me, I'm answering that.
He offered to go alone.
Supriya, allow him to speak. Come on.
Just a second.
You can't keep jumping in. You've had your full say. Now listen to Sambit Patra.
Yeah. Thank you. See, first and foremost, if your intention was to come alone, you would have come alone from your home. Well, yes, even if you wanted to walk on the Yamuna Expressway alone, just imagine, would Rahul Gandhi walk alone for all these kilometers in Yamuna Expressway, and should the traffic there be halted? Because there the speed limit is 120 kilometers per hour. So all the vehicles should be stopped just because Mr. Rahul Gandhi is going to walk for 2 to 3 hours? Is this the way the country's rule would be bent for just one Rajkumar?
Show you, Dr. Patra, pictures from Balrampur in Uttar Pradesh, where there was another rape, ghastly rape, and I have pictures of BJP leaders going and visiting the victim's family. There they are on your screen. We mosaic the picture of the father, and you've got BJP leaders sitting all around. They've gone, they're not wearing masks, they're crowding around, so there clearly is no social distancing. There are many more than 4, so there is no ban on congregation either. So this is on the same day. On the one side in Balrampur, BJP leaders go and meet the victim's family. On the other side, when opposition leaders want to go and meet the victim's family in Hathras, your government, sir, doesn't allow it.
First and foremost, you have to understand that the local BJP leaders, the local MLA and the local MP, it is their duty, their prime duty, to visit the victim's family and to help them get the compensation, to help them, in fact, get justice, and to reassure them. That's their duty, because they're local representatives, elected representatives. For instance, what happened in Rajasthan, we did not, from Delhi, walk down to Rajasthan. We did not go to Bharatpur and said that our leaders would be walking from here to Bari or to Jaipur, because, in fact, in 24 hours, there has been 7 rape cases in Rajasthan. We did not do that because we know that law has to be followed. Secondly, your question was regarding the cremation of the unfortunate victim, I would say, in Hathras. Well, yes, Sympathy is something which we all have to show. Sensitivity is something which we all have to bear. I mean, insensitive behavior, particularly of a policeman who was laughing and smiling while the cremation was going on, absolutely not allowed. He should be suspended. I have been saying that on your channel since yesterday, not to be allowed. But we have to understand two sides of the same thing.
So I'm asking you a direct, sir, 1 second. I've asked you a very direct question you haven't answered. That you understand Hindu rituals. You come from a family of pujaris.
Rahul,
in the dead of the night, is it okay if the family is saying we don't want the girl to be cremated, we'd like to do this in the morning, we'd like to see her one last time, for the body to be taken directly to a ground and to be cremated at 2:35 without the presence of family members? Is this okay? Is this Hindu Riti Rivas?
Let me answer that. Of course, I told you, I concur with you, I agree with you. But I heard yesterday the ADJ, the Additional Director General of Police, Mr. Kumar, was saying that, well, they have taken the consent of the family members. Then I heard the contrary feelings of the family members also. So, of course, I believe, I sympathize with the family. I agree that certain things we have to be sympathetic towards. But then the other side of the whole story also has to be read out. Remember, there are forces out who want the clash between the Dalits and the Thakurs, who want clash taking place in Uttar Pradesh. The police's duty is to maintain law and order as well. But still, I would say sensitivity is the call of the day. We all have to be sensitive. The spokespersons, the police and everyone. My only suggestion over here is let's not be selective. Let's not politicize everything.
I want to go across to Asha Devi, Nirbhaya's mother. Asha Devi ji, district magistrate की तस्वीर आती है. वो कहते हैं कि मीडिया वाले चले जाएंगे, हम तो यही रहेंगे, आप देख लो आप क्या कहते हो, हम आपके साथ हैं. जो उनकी बहन है, सिस्टर इन लॉ, वो कहती हैं कि हम पे दबाव है, वो रो रही हैं कि पिताजी पे दबाव डाला जा रहा है, कहा जा रहा है कि कॉम्पनसेशन दी गई, शुक्र मनाओ, और लोकल प्रशासन हमारे साथ बदसलूकी कर रहा है. क्या आपको लगता है कि जिस तरीके से बर्ताव हुआ है इस पूरे केस में स्थानीय प्रशासन द्वारा, वो गलत है? आशा देवी जी,
आवाज थोड़ा सा आपकी कम आ रही है.
मैं आपसे ये पूछ रहा हूँ आशा जी कि क्या आपके विचार में जिस तरीके से बर्ताव हुआ है स्थानीय प्रशासन द्वारा इस लड़की के हाथरस के विक्टिम के परिवार के साथ, क्या आपको लग रहा है कि वो गलत है? I don't think she can hear me fully, but let me go across to. आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही आशा जी?
हेलो.
Okay. I want to go across to Juhi Singh. Now we're in minute 30 of this debate, and this is when we're now coming to the Samajwadi Party. The Congress has 6.25% vote share in UP, Samajwadi Party at 21.82%, BSP has 22.23%. So the party with 22.23%, which is the BSP, the party with 21.82% vote share, which is the SP, are missing in action. Your leaders, ma'am, have tweeted their opposition, their outrage, but they're not on the ground. You know, you're making it seem as if the politics of Uttar Pradesh is a battle between Yogi Adityanath and the Gandhi siblings. What's Akhilesh Yadav doing?
Yeah, Rahul, I think that's your perception, because, I mean, according to Dr. Patra's claim, nobody should be walking from Delhi to Hathras. So our local leaders were there and our local representatives were there. Atul Pradhan was there. The police stopped them. And it's okay for you to give us our percentages and say who's playing the role of what. But I think the question should be raised on the administration and the UP government as to what they were doing. There are serious lapses here from the 14th till the time the girl died. I don't think anybody's taking responsibility. It's not the question of sensitivity out here or sympathy, as Dr. Patra says. It's the question of who's responsible. Did our Chief Minister not know on the 14th what happened? Today we have come up with certain contradictory reports. When did you send it for medical legal? When did you send it to Delhi? What were you helping the girl out with?
आशा देवी जी, आपको मेरी आवाज अब ठीक से आ रही है क्या?
हेलो.
आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है ठीक से? आप सुन पा रही हैं मुझे?
हेलो.
आशा देवी जी, आवाज ठीक से आ रही है? आप समझ पा रही हैं मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ?
बोलिए बोलिए.
हाँ, मैं ये जानना चाह रहा हूँ कि वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट का वीडियो सामने आया है जिसमें वो कह रहे हैं कि ये मीडिया वाले चले जाएंगे, प्रवीण कुमार अक्सर, मीडिया वाले चले जाएंगे, आधे चले गए हैं, आधे लोग यहाँ पे हैं, वो भी बाद में चले जाएंगे, आप देख लो आपको क्या कहना है, बार बार अपना स्टेटमेंट मत बदलो. एक तरीके से वो समझा रहे हैं कि क्या बोलना चाहिए, क्या नहीं बोलना चाहिए, क्या ठीक है, क्या ठीक नहीं है.
जी, वो जैसे हमने भी वीडियो में भी देखा, जैसे उन्होंने समझा रहे हैं कि मीडिया वाले चले जाएंगे, सब लोग चले जाएंगे, तो ये तो बहुत गलत बात है। उनको तो इस टाइम, उस परिवार को तो इस टाइम सत्यावना की जरूरत है कि नहीं, नॉर्मल रहे, नॉर्मल से उनका बयान लिया जाए। लेकिन जिस तरह से धमकाया जा रहा है, ये तो बहुत गलत बात है, क्योंकि उनको इस तरह से धमकाया जाए कि अगर मैं तो मानती हूँ कि मीडिया नहीं रहती तो ये चीज सामने ही नहीं आती। 15 दिन, हेलो,
बोलिए बोलिए, मैं सुन पा रहा हूँ आपको आशा जी।
15 दिन पहले घटना हुई, एक हफ्ते बाद FIR लिखी जाती है, तो कभी छेड़छाड़ की लिखी जाती है, कभी रेप बलात्कार की लिखी जाती है, तो कभी SP साहब कहते हैं कि नहीं, जीभ नहीं कटी थी, हड्डी नहीं टूटी थी। तो ये खुद में ही कंफ्यूज हैं और दूसरे उनको समझा रहे हैं कि आप लोग किसी से बात मत करिए, सब लोग चले जाए। ये तो पता है कि सब लोग चले जाएंगे, लेकिन आपका जो काम है आप तो अपने ईमानदारी से करिए। जिस तरह से सामने आई है चीजें, तो इस तरह से तो घटना तो हुई है, बहुत दुखद है, बच्ची की जान चली गई, इसके लिए तो शब्द नहीं है क्या कहें। लेकिन जो दृश्य सामने देखने को आ रहा है कि कभी कह रहे हैं कि रेप हुआ है, कभी कह रहे हैं नहीं हुआ है, कभी धमका रहे हैं कि जिन्होंने अफवाह उड़ाई उस पे कार्रवाई होगी, तो मैं तो कह रही हूँ कि सबसे पहले तो पुलिस पे कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। कि पुलिस को अगर पता ही नहीं था तो पुलिस ने एक हफ्ते बाद रेप की घटना क्यों लगाई। अब एक बात और मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि हम प्रशासन बच्ची का मरने का इंतजार कर रहा था कि बच्ची मरेगी, पोस्टमार्टम होगा तो कंफर्म होगा कि रेप है कि नहीं है। बच्ची जब घायल हुई, बच्ची के साथ जब घटना हुई, हॉस्पिटल में आई, तो क्या उस दिन उसका मेडिकल नहीं हुआ? तो उस मेडिकल में नहीं पता हुआ कि क्या हुआ है क्या नहीं है। तो पहले तो प्रशासन कंफ्यूज है और उनको समझा रहा है कि आप मीडिया से मत बात करो, दूसरे से मत करो। सबके अंदर बच्ची के लिए तकलीफ है, सबके अंदर तड़प है, हर छोटा बड़ा आदमी मिलना चाहता है, और जब लोग मिलेंगे नहीं, सत्यावना नहीं देंगे, तो उस परिवार इस दुख से उभरेगा कैसे? तो जो भी चीजें हैं ये बहुत गलत हो रही है। इस पे सरकार को, खासकर CM साहब को एक्शन लेना चाहिए कि पुलिस को अब से भी उनकी जांच पड़ताल करें, उनसे बात करें, उनको समझाए कि एक विक्टिम के साथ कैसे व्यवहार होता है। क्योंकि अपना औलाद जाने के बाद तो क्या होता है मैं अच्छे तरह से समझती हूँ, लेकिन घटना हो गई, हमें संघर्ष करना पड़ा 8 साल, लेकिन मेरे सामने ऐसा कोई दृश्य नहीं आया कि नहीं मेरे को कोई आके धमकाए कि आप किसी से बात मत करो, किसी से कुछ मत करो। तो ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए। जो हो रहा है वो बहुत गलत हो रहा है, और मैं यही कहना चाहूंगी कि बच्ची को जल्दी से जल्दी इंसाफ मिले और उनको जल्दी से सजा मिले।
आशा देवी जी, आप जुड़ी हमारे साथ, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। The UP police in fact is claiming that there has been no rape in the Hathras case. The autopsy report that's been accessed by India Today also says that there were no injuries on the victim's private parts. But what happens to the victim's own statement given on the 22nd of September, where she claims that she's been raped? She names 4 of the accused, and I want to read out to you what the rule on dying declaration is, because according to Supreme Court orders, the dying declaration, the last statement of the victim, can be taken as a dying declaration, and this can hold in, this can be used by the enforcement agencies, by the investigating agencies as evidence. This is according to Kushal Rao versus the state of Bombay, and the conviction can be based on the dying declaration after it passes the scrutiny of the court. So the dying declaration, whether it's the Lakshman versus the state of Maharashtra case, the Kushal Rao case, according to different cases that have been presented before the Supreme Court, dying declaration is taken as evidence under section 32(1) of the Indian Evidence Act. Take a look at the story.
A twist in the Hathras horror story. The post-mortem report of the 19-year-old who was murdered is now with the Uttar Pradesh police. The autopsy report, exclusively accessed by India Today, says there's no abnormality or fresh scars in the vaginal tract or in the pelvic area. Armed with this and a forensic report, the UP police has rejected the victim's claims of rape. Police say the allegations were trumped up to create caste tensions in Uttar Pradesh.
Today, the FSL report from Agra has come, which clearly shows that there has been no sperm is found on the collected samples. Hence, the rape was not committed.
The autopsy conducted at Delhi's Safdarjung hospital, however, confirms the victim's spine broke, which led to her death. It also confirms a bid to strangle the girl, but ruled it out as a cause of death. The findings on injuries to spinal cord are at variance with police's earlier claims.
मेडिकल रिपोर्ट जो अलीगढ़ से मिली है उसमें चोटों के बारे में बताया है, लेकिन जो सेक्सुअल इंटरकोर्स, फोर्स सेक्सुअल इंटरकोर्स जो कहते हैं, इसकी उन्होंने पुष्टि नहीं की है. इसकी पुष्टि के लिए वो एफएसएल की जो रिपोर्ट होती है, फॉरेंसिक रिपोर्ट होती है, उसका वो वेट कर रहे हैं.
The UP police are now questioning the victim's dying declaration. It was in her statement on 22nd September that she was gang raped and named 3 more accused.
उस दिन जिस दिन आपकी चोट लगी है, उस दिन रेप हुआ है. अच्छा, दोनों ने किया था, कोई और भी था?
वो दोनों थे, पर बाकी सब भाग गए थे.
अच्छा, बाकी सब भाग गए थे. जब मम्मी को देख के भाग गए थे, तो आप उस समय होश में थे?
थोड़ा सा होश था.
थोड़ा सा होश था. अच्छा, तो रेप हुआ आपके साथ. उसके बाद क्या किया?
मेरी मम्मी ने मुंह में पानी डाला, तो कुछ नहीं क्या हुआ.
A final forensic report from Agra is awaited, which will once and for all confirm if there was sexual assault. But none of this explained the hurry in cremating the victim's body without even allowing the parents one last glimpse of their daughter. With Milan Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
We're slipping into a very quick break right now. This is a story we'll continue to track very, very closely tomorrow and over the next few days. There must be justice, and the local administration cannot get away by trying to intimidate the victim's family. This is completely unacceptable. I'll have more for you when I return on the other side. Stay with us.